Hey guys, it's Ashley and Kevin here, and this video we are going to discuss pretty much the rise and fall of Bamboozle and our experiences with the festival and everything that has happened recently that has led to it being canceled. So without further ado, here are our opinions and our experiences, and yeah.
Yep. So we're just gonna go through what it was, well, because we have both been to the Bamboozle Festival years ago when it was actually good. So we're just gonna discuss our experiences, and then moving forward, we're gonna go to what it became for this year. Today of the filming of this video is Saturday, May 6th. So we thought it was appropriate to make this video because it is the weekend Bamboozle was supposed to happen.
Yep.
And so we'll get into that and why it didn't happen, as if you don't know already. But we'll start with our experiences for Bamboozle. So we know it started around 2002 as skate and surf in a smaller place. I know it started off small, then it became to what it was in Bamboozle. So I started going in 2008, and it was fun because the first year we had a lot of experiences. Just the first year, me and my dad would go, so it's always something that held close to me because it was just an experience my dad and I had together that we would go every year. So we started in 2008, and one of the special things that happened that year, which made Bamboozle so special and why we continued to go, we were staying at a hotel. Bamboozle was always held at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And we stayed at a hotel maybe 15-20 minutes away from there. And that's a hotel we always stayed at. But this first year we had gone, we saw, when we checked in and everything, we were just walking around the property, and we saw a tour bus at the same exact hotel we were staying at, and it happened to be the band Amber Pacific, if you guys are familiar with it. And it was one of the bands I actually saw a few days earlier, where I'm from in New York. It was just cool because we went up to the tour bus and they were really nice, and they were like, "Oh, come on in." But they were tour of the bus, and so we were able to get on the bus and everything, and it was just cool to hang out with those guys. And then later that night, we were hanging out outside of our room, and they were walking around and they were looking for it because this other person said they could use their room to shower, but they couldn't find them and they couldn't get in touch with them. And so my dad's like, "Oh, just come into our room and shower and whatever you guys need to do." And so they came into our hotel room and hung out, and that was a really cool experience. And then the next day they were set to play Bamboozle Festival, and we went to their merch table, and my dad was talking to him, and he said something along the lines like, "Oh, how close can we get to your set when you guys play?" And the drummer's like, "How close can I get you?" It's like, "I can get you on stage with us when we play our set." And so we were able to be side stage with Amber Pacific when they played Bamboozle. So that was a really cool experience. That really solidified my love for the festival and that band. Those guys were really cool, and that's what really sticks out in my mind when I think of Bamboozle. And other than the fact that like it was started like Paramore, they were playing on these smaller stages and everything, and I had actually caught a drumstick from Paramore and had them sign it and everything. I wish I still had that, but that was my first year at Bamboozle. I believe it was 2008 was when that whole thing was. And so my dad and I talked, and was like, "Let's just do this every year they have it," because it was just a fun experience, and it was just like a father-son bonding kind of thing, which was really nice to have the weekend with him and do that with him. It was my first experience with Bamboozle, and we've gone every year since the last year. It was 2012, and there was this one year, I think it was 2011, the year before Live Nation took over in 2012, where we already did VIP. And the VIP experience in that one year when they had the Meadowlands, they had the VIP experience inside the stadium, giant stadium, with acoustic performances, and that was by far the best experience that we had with that. I believe, what was the year you had went? Was it that year?
No, I think I went, when did I go? I don't know if I went 1 or 2 years, I can't remember. I know I went 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I saw an acoustic set of, oh God, let me think. I saw a couple acoustic sets. Oh, I saw Craig Owens
Mm.
an acoustic set. I literally was from like me to, I don't even know, or the little post over there, from him. That was really cool. That was a good set. I think Cheetos was playing. I don't know if it was before or after his set, there, but that was really fun because like it was in a tent and like it was just, I don't know, like 50 people. That was fun.
Yeah, and that was the thing with the VIP things. Like I meet and greets, and they did acoustic performances, private acoustic performances, and just it was a cool hangout vibe, and just it was great to have that experience and everything. The last year it moved in 2012. It moved to a different venue. I believe I want to say it was Atlantic City was where they had it in the last year.
Yeah, I didn't go to that,
So that was it was really different. You can tell the vibe and the experience was totally switched from the last year. We went with that cool VIP experience inside the stadium, and now the VIP was like close to the main stage, so we couldn't really hear anything. It was like totally different once Live Nation had taken over. It was a cool place because that's when the year Foo Fighters and Bon Jovi were there, so that was really cool to see them. And to be on the beach was really cool, but it was just, you can totally tell the difference that year from there, which I guess leads us to after 2012 was the last year they had done it, and then fast forwarding to I believe it was 2021 where they announced the comeback for the Bamboozle to come back in 2023. And so all these thoughts popped in my mind about the past experience I've had. I was really excited for it to make a comeback and everything.
I think everybody was. I think all the kids, or not kids, we're adults, but like, I think all of the people that were like in that scene, the skater kids, the old scene kids, and emo kids, and whatever have you, like, if you were in that type of concert scene, like, just the experience you always have at those type of shows, like, you make friends with people look out for you, like in the mosh pits and everything. The bands are always usually really cool. When you do, I don't think I've ever had a bad experience with like a signing, like a band signing or photo op before. Usually it's just like a good environment, and I think we were all craving that, especially after COVID and everything. So we're like, yeah, like Bamboozle's coming back. We were so excited, and once things started happening online, I think that people were questioning if it was going to happen, if it was real, if what type of festival this was going to be.
Yeah, so yeah, we were all excited. We were thinking, oh, it's going to be like all the emo bands and everything were coming back. But what we knew in 2012 when the last year was, this is going back 11 years from now, and we were in our early 20s. Then thinking back to those times, and like, okay, this is going to be what it was before, because I believe, John D was taken back over, and it wasn't going to be under Live Nation. So we all had this expectation of Bamboozle coming back, and we were all hyped and excited for it. But as it got closer, they had the first band announcement. I believe it was Black Friday of 2022, when they started the phasing of everything and all these things that John G was posting about how the ticket prices were going to get higher in price as the lineup got out. The first phase I was hopeful because I had like names like Boys Like Girls and Seosin and all those bands you would expect to be at a Bamboozle. But as the months went on, it started getting a little wonky and just like what's going on here.
There's a lot of no names added to the list.
Yeah,
There was a
and
lot
they had
of,
like
they've always had different stages, and they were kind of arguing that in the beginning, which is true. They've had different types of music, different types of artists before. It was mainly a rock and roll festival. I was there with a friend in 2010. We saw Drake there and Kesha, which, different.
Yeah, they did have names
fine.
like Lil Wayne and all that stuff, but it wasn't like the main focus.
Yeah.
But
they started announcing people that you've never heard of, people that I don't know if it's because we were all older or what's going on, but it seemed like that wasn't the case. It just almost seemed like they picked people off the street, like, hey, can you play? Like,
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, after the first announcements, they were saying things like, oh, like headliners and all this stuff are going to be announced, and then the ticket price will jump. and John D was posting online like, oh, emo's not dead, and blah blah blah, making things like it's gonna be like it was before. But as the names started to come out, it was all like hip hop names and all these like up and coming names that we never heard of, and it's like okay. And then during Christmas time, it was like the 10 days of Bamboozle, like they were announced bands once a day or however it was, but we only got 8 days. And then that's when it's, I guess, where it really started to like okay, what's going on here? Because the 8 days we were promised 10 days, and the 8 days weren't anything great, in my opinion. And then it's just the last 2 days we didn't get anything. It's like okay, that's when it started getting like, oh, we're a little fishy here. Like what's going on?
And the ticket prices were like, people paid like $250 or something like that, and they didn't have all the bands or artists out yet, and a lot of people paid a lot of money for, you know, hoping that it would be a festival that it once was, and then things happened where basically he was bullying people online, and I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain it without
like
knowing what happened.
A lot of things that go into this that I've seen John D do, same with the bullying, with the Instagrams and Facebooks and all that.
There's a lot of passive aggressive remarks about the festival.
Yeah, and it's just like something a promoter
it.
or event organizer shouldn't be doing, like concerning himself with the negativity, which there's a lot surrounding this after a lot of things had happened with the ticket pricing, and then no headliners were announced. And then he started this thing with Cyber Smile, a donation thing where he did a pay-to-play thing on eBay, where you can bid to get a spot in the Bamboozle and would donate to Cyber Smile, which is a cyberbullying thing, which is really ironic for him to donate to that when he was the cyberbully to a lot of people.
If you've been following Bamboozle and you clicked on this video, obviously you know a little bit of what's going on, and how he reacted to a lot of people's comments and the things that he said.
Big man child.
Yeah,
it's pretty much what it comes down to.
It was not handled professionally at all, and then to go on social media and for him to basically bully and say the things that he did to people and about the festival was definitely not right. So that was like, it went from like a little bit sketchy to a lot of red flags were starting to come out. A lot of people in the comments were just saying a lot of things, what was happening, what was said to them, and then as time went on, comments were being deleted, and then people were saying in the comments, hey, why was my comment deleted? And then they were trying to get the truth out, and I think that you know, they were trying to hide what was going on. They were trying to hide people finding out the truth, people saying what they were saying with bands dropping. A lot of bands were dropping off the list. They were getting a bunch of no names and acting like they were the hottest thing.
Yeah, they were dropping bands but not getting any replacements for said band, because I don't know. Yeah, it started with Black Bear was one of them. Then Boys Like Girls dropped out, but they weren't getting any replacements, and they were like just like the daily lineups were just like very weird and strange looking from if you were in the past. Like they had like big names and all this stuff, and they couldn't fill a whole day with anything. Because going back to the years where I was going, I remember back in the day when they did Thursdays, or maybe it was a Friday, I'm not sure which day it was, but they had like mystery bands and they had clues like that you had to decipher, and you wouldn't know who was playing until that day, and you went to that stage and see what band it was. That is another thing I really love about Bamboozle, but knowing that it wasn't going to be happening this year, and but that was another fond memory I have about Bamboozle, having that mystery day. It was just like a half a day at night where they would have special bands playing under a secret name. That was another cool experience. But yeah, this whole year with all the things going on surrounding John D and dropping of the band, and ticket prices were actually getting lowered, and with that eBay thing, it ended like 3 days early and nothing was said about it, and they weren't addressing fans' concerns, questions. And
yeah, that was another thing. A lot of people were asking in the comments and on their Facebook and Instagram pages, like, you know, different questions about like tickets and the festival and things like that, and they were not being answered. Those comments were being deleted. Nothing was being addressed. There was a podcast thing though. I didn't get to listen to it because I was at work and it was too late in the day. They deleted it apparently. There was supposedly a podcast episode where they addressed everything. There was also another fiasco with that where they released said podcast episode, then deleted a section of it, and then re-released this episode.
Yeah, because the section they deleted was they were bullying someone and they were
they were
rewarding
saying
people.
mean remarks and different things.
They said they reward people that would bully this person, which is the creator of Bamboozle. If you guys are familiar, which I'm sure you guys are, was an Instagram page. Shout out to them, which I follow. Which has been, Bamboozle was the Instagram page that would kind of call out John D and all the like sketchiness going around it, and Bamboozle themselves followed it, so they were familiar with them and they just wanted to find out who he was. So John D had his friends try to get what his name was and try to get all this stuff out and try to expose him, but the guy, whoever's running it, is smart enough to not do that. And but yeah, they were trying to bully him and get his name out there, and with the podcast they were gonna say, oh, we reward anyone with tickets who will go to his house, blah blah blah, and everything. John D is just a huge mess, and I will never support him. And the whole thing, like the people that were supporting this guy and seeing what was going on, I don't understand why they would be doing that. Just knowing how he was and what was going on behind the scenes, and just he was putting it out there and everything about how this festival was ran was just so unorganized. But yeah, but other than that, with the Instagram pages and people are speculating that he was making fake Instagram accounts, saying that people that were supporting it were his fake Instagram, which was pretty funny, because you look at all the Instagram posts and everything was negative and everything, so it was hard to believe that people were actually supporting this, but I guess some people were, and I don't understand why.
Excuse our dog, really. But yeah, it just sucks because it's something that we were interested in when they first announced it. Like, I saw so many great bands when I went. It was like Warped Tour, you know? It was like you go from stage to stage, you're seeing different bands. There was a lot of different things going on. Like, I got caught up in a mosh pit in Miss May I, and then, just a lot of different things. I saw different internet stars. Like, at the time, I don't want to talk about him, but Destry Smith, if you know who that is, Captain Dest or whatever his YouTube channel was, way back before his allegations and all that stuff, I was like an avid watcher of his YouTube, and he literally like walked right in front of me. There's a lot of people. There was Liz from My Life is Liz there for a couple of years. And it's just like you got to see different people. Like I don't know if Audrey was there the year I was, but Hannah Beth, she was a BuzzNet like scene queen, MySpace star. You got to see a whole lot of different people in that type of scene, and I think,
because that's what Bamboozle, was.
It was
that whole scene. It was that cool experience, like meeting those people that you always wanted to see. And it was like people like us would go there just for that experience and go multiple days. But like this whole year was just, John D once named it the largest hip hop festival in New Jersey, which is like, that's not what Bamboozle was.
And then like last month, after all that, he was like posting like old YouTube videos of like, original Bamboozle of like
Emo
Fish
and
like and Beyond the Coast and like stuff like that, and you're like, you're posting these type of videos of these type of bands, but you're not even booking those type of bands or
and he's always saying like,
it.
oh, we're not living in the past, and like
and then he's posting videos of like 2000 I don't know 7 or something like that, and
like,
it's insane.
I understand like you want to try to get new and upcoming bands and everything, and like hip hop and all that, whatever you want to do, but I feel it should be named something other than Bamboozle, because people associate Bamboozle with what they were used to, but then you're changing the whole scene for this other new generation of kids. It should be named something different.
Because like to the people that went to Bamboozle, it was at the time mainly a rock festival. Like, we are not hip hop fans whatsoever. Like, do you? but like we wanted the rock festival that it used to be, and you know, it just it wasn't even like, you know, a mix. It was like they named maybe 6 to 7 like good bands, and then like after that those bands started dropping and they started adding like no names. Like if you wanted to make a so-called like hip-hop type of festival, name it something different, get bigger names than like, you know, Joe that works in McDonald's. I don't know, like they literally like were not even artists, and it seemed like they were people that they picked up off the street. And like, again, if you followed this, you definitely understand and know what we're talking about. It's definitely hard to explain to people that maybe don't know what was going on or have not seen any of the posts or any of that. But it was getting sad. It was really getting sad, and
just the way it was run, and just so unprofessional. And then I'm just really glad we didn't go ahead and jump and get tickets when they run on sale. Because everyone would just say like cancel, and they should be
they couldn't
canceled.
get rid of tickets. People were posting in the comments like, you know, somebody buy my tickets, and like nobody wanted them. And
to the point where they were giving away free Friday day tickets. Like Friday was a complimentary ticket that you can get for some promotion. You had a QR code and everything for that, but they couldn't get rid of the tickets. And then there's a lot of news articles coming out, and John D saying that he only sold 6,000 tickets and all this stuff, where we're used to like 20,000 was like in the article that they would do a day back in the day, and then 6,000 for the whole weekend is what they had sold. So it wasn't going well, and you could kind of see it with the the weird promotions they would do. If anyone's familiar, remember the Star Wars, that weird Star Wars one they did at one point, that which has since been deleted. But fast forward to last week, where they officially announced that they canceled the whole festival, and they didn't really give a reason. They just say it was canceled. But doing a little bit deeper dig, it's that Atlantic City itself shut it down because the permits weren't submitted on time. They didn't have like evacuation code, so everything like that wasn't submitted in time.
Yeah, they didn't do anything, and this festival was supposed to happen this weekend. Again, excuse our dog.
Yeah, so it's supposed to happen this weekend, but a week before it's supposed to happen, it get canceled.
Yeah, they didn't have security. They didn't have any of the forms, you know, done and handed in. They didn't have anything that they really needed, and they should have known to do that because of all the years of running this festival. Like, it just, so much sketchy stuff has happened with this festival.
And then they canceled it, and then a lot of speculation saying like that was John D's out, like he knew he wasn't going to submit it in time because he knew how much this was going to fail and how many ticket sales they didn't have, and bands were asking for money that he couldn't pay. So people are saying like, oh, like that was his way out of this festival, they didn't do it in time, which is all hearsay, and I'm not saying it's true or not, but it's believable. So he's the kind of guy that would do that. And then so Bamboozle had deleted all their posts on their Facebook and Instagram, and John D actually deleted his Instagram account, and so you can't.
I think he deleted all social media.
Everything, you can't get in contact with them. And now going to this weekend, now there's a lot of lawsuits going on, lawsuits with the promoters and everything, and and they're supposed to be this weekend and having a good time in Atlantic City, but it canceled, and it's not what it used to be, and it never will be if he tries to do this again, which I doubt.
I don't think he'll be able to. He will not be able to bring the name Bamboozle up again, because no one will go.
Because we were discussing the other day that that Warped Tour, if Warped Tour came back or anything like that, that was not here now, it wouldn't be the same as it was back in the day, because I don't think it could ever be, which is sad to think, but we have hope, but we don't think it would ever be that way.
I think, you know, like music trends, it's hard to think and talk with a barking dog, but again, we're sorry. I think music trends obviously come and go and recycle and whatnot, and I think that right now the era we're in, we are not a fan of. We're hoping that rock and roll starts to come back and starts to hit radio waves, but I think that they were just trying to tend too much to whatever this day and age is going on, and And so that I think that's what they were trying to do, and they just did everything wrong. I'm all for bringing Warped Tour back though, so please do it.
Yeah. So like, because this September is a really good example. We've been going to Blue Ridge Rock Festival that's going to be in Virginia, and that is run very well. And the way they've been like promoting it and announcing bands is kind of the way the festival should be ran and handled and everything. And I'm very excited for that because this will be our first year going, and I hear a lot of good things about that. So just as like a prime example of how it should be ran and everything like that, and a bunch of new bands going to be added, and it's like our bands that we listen to.
Yeah,
and a
it's
little bit of
very
mix of
much
everything.
similar to like how we're used to like Warped Tour and things like that. So it's hopefully it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. But yeah, that's pretty much.
But that is pretty much the rise and fall of Bamboozle.
Yep, and so. Yep, I don't think it'll come back or he'll try to do anything else because his name is not looking too good in the music business anymore. So.
And it's sad because like when it first started, like the skate and surf, that's what it was. It was, you know, a bunch of like, it was like the skater community, and they would have like bands just play, and it was very chill. And then it turned into Bamboozle, and that and Warped Tour were kind of like very similar. And stuff like that, and it's just like it was a place for our type of, you know, people, our type of music to go and enjoy music in the community and like connect with the music and the bands, and like it was always like an enjoyable day to go to festivals like that. And you know, just connect. It's like the people around you are there for the same thing. You know, the people around you are there because they connected somehow with that music and that band and that artist, and that's what we love. That's what we love to do, and that's why we love going to shows. And you know, that Bamboozle was always very chill, and it was always something that we love to do. It's something we still love to do, and I think that unfortunately this festival will never be again. It's just something that they basically tarnished within the last couple of years trying to do it, and I think that they could have done it in a more mature and professional way, and they chose not to. So they will never come back again, and if they do, the same thing will probably happen. I feel like they will not, you know, no one's going to want to go, especially after them tarnishing the name the last year or two.
Yeah, so that's all we had to say about that. And I know there's a documentary about it coming out. Someone's making a documentary about the rise and fall as well, so looking out for that as well. But other than that, that's all we had for saying that.
So please like and subscribe. We are going to be making more film location videos, other type of vlog videos. There's all kinds of things that we want to do. It's just hard because, you know, we work and we have, you know, a life, but we are hoping to get more videos out and more content out to you guys. So if you like this video, if you want what type of content you want to see from us, please comment, because any feedback is great. Right?
And also like us on Instagram as well.
All right.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.